Welcome back, everyone. MidDays, SuperTalk, Mississippi, live from downtown Columbia, Mississippi. We're here because the annual Columbia Christmas Festival is about to get kicked off. Joining us now, John Cooper, the president of the Columbia location of Trustmark Bank. John, thanks for coming on.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
So this festival seems like it gets bigger and better every year. They do a fantastic job, and it really is remarkable to think about 40,000 plus showing up in a small town like Columbia, but they come because it's just a whole lot of fun.
It is. It's a whole lot of fun. It's a lot of excitement, a lot of activity going on. It's fun seeing people from all over the state and the southeast coming and visiting. It's like I said, you don't expect it in Columbia, but it sure is fun when it's here.
Yeah. So how long has Trustmark been in Columbia? Is this a bank you guys acquired some time ago?
This bank was the old Columbia Bank. Okay. And it was acquired years ago, back before Trustmark was Trustmark, back when
First National?
was First National,
sure.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Our bank here has been located, I think it was originally chartered in 1899.
Okay.
But our actual location in downtown has been at that location. Next year will be our 100-year anniversary.
That's awesome. Yeah, I rode by it this morning. So the Main Street, the downtown, it really is fantastic for a town this size, and what really I think it catches your eye right off the bat, John, is that all the buildings are occupied.
Everybody's occupied, and it's great to have a downtown area, and you're starting to see that in a lot of towns. A lot of towns you're starting to see a resurgence at the downtown, and you really got to appreciate it, and you appreciate the businesses that we have out on the highway, and but a lot of those are not necessarily locally owned, but we're glad to have them. We're glad to have every market here in town. Yeah. But it's really good to see local businesses thriving again, and that just that is what really what community banking is about, is making sure that your local businesses and the money that you're putting into the community is staying in the community.
Yeah, absolutely. So we got to talk about interest rates a little bit, and just overall economic conditions. The Fed seems very committed to driving down inflation, and they're using the main tool they have, which is the Fed funds rate, and then they have announced that it looks like they're going to moderate a little bit in the next cycle. Maybe in December we'll get half a point instead of 3/4.
It is. That's our expectation is a half a point. Now, I was on a call earlier this morning, and one of the things that was brought up was this is the most activity that the Fed has ever had in a single year.
In history. Right.
But also this past month, there was a day in there when the consumer price index and everything was announced, and the inflation wasn't as high as we thought it was going to be. We saw a little bit of the markets respond to that in a way that was positive from an outlook standpoint. So hopefully we'll see some moderation, and next year we should definitely see it tailing off, and if it doesn't go down, at least hopefully it'll plateau.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, and I think it was J.P. Morgan either late yesterday or this morning said still predicting a recession, but a much milder one than maybe originally thought, and so the markets seem to like that, and the Fed governors, they're still somewhat hawkish, right. but maybe if we can get a couple of positive CPI trends, we can get that down. How's that affecting your lending activity?
Well, right now we're okay. I mean, it's just everything's a lag.
Yeah.
So we're kind of trying to figure out the activity we had this year. Was it a lag from the previous year of maybe it's people who were wanting to wait and see, and now let's hurry up and do something before it rises anymore.
Yeah.
And so we'll hopefully next year it won't be as bad as we expected. Now, because this past year everybody was expecting it to be worse than it was, but we'll see. I mean, it was like I said, it was a decent year. It wasn't as bad as we expected it to be, but again, like I said, it could very well been just those businesses out there doing something before it gets worse.
Yeah, credit card debt up somewhat. It seems like folks are starting to clean out their bank accounts and maybe take on more debt just to deal with the cost of living.
Yeah, just the liquidity in the marketplace is less than it was 2 years ago. It was just so liquid, and there was just so much money that was sitting in banks that it was driving everything down from that standpoint. So, we'll start seeing some changes from that end.
Yeah.
But it's just we kind of have to wait and see. But there's definitely less liquidity in the marketplace. But a lot of that has got to do with the fact that COVID funds have now left the banks and have gone into the communities and are getting spent in different ways.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you guys are a big part of the community here, and it's really good to have a full-service bank that's located in a town like this. It's critical to the success. Appreciate it, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. John Cooper, president of the Columbia location of Trustmark Bank, has been our guest here on Midday. We're at the top of the hour. We're going to take a break for the news right now. When we